Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In previous video, we have seen how to design for this one, that is delete employee, and how to backend code for this. So if you haven't watched that video, then just go to description that I put the link for my previous video. So in this video onwards, we are going to design for this one, that is add visitor, and we are going to backend code for this. So right now when I click on this, nothing happens because we haven't coded anything on this one. So let me exit my application and move back over here. So we need to close this first, and we go to Solution Explorer, right click on this, and here I'm going to add a new form. Click on this one, click on form. I'm going to give it a name, that is add visitor, and click on add, and this will add a new visitor over here. So you can see this new form is added. First thing what I want to do is, let me just open this one and pin it over here. And I'm going to right click and go to properties, and inside this one, first thing we need to change is the start position. So I want to change this one to center of the screen. It means that whenever it opens, it needs to be open in the center of the screen. After this, I need to remove the form border, that is these buttons and this border, default border. So search for this one, that is form border style. Just click on this and select none. After this, we need to change the back color for this. So right click on this and go to properties, go over here, change the back color to custom and white. After this, I'm going to set the size for this one. That is, in my case, I'm going to set it to 1095, comma, and I'm going to set it to 553 and hit enter. And now this form is ready. Next thing what we have to do is, let me just open another form, that is add employee. And if I move back over here, I'm going to copy this one, this button, not this one. Let me just open this update employee. So let me copy this name text field, contact text field, gender text field, address text field, and some more. And these two buttons too. Let me copy these and move back over here and paste it over here. And it's out of the space, so let me just press Ctrl Z to move back over here. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to just remove these two for now and these two, and just copy these all and move back over here and paste it over here, so that we can adjust everything accordingly. And move this one to the right and move these over here like this. Make some space, move this upside. After this, move back over here. We need to select these four. So let me copy these, move back over here to this add visitor and paste it over here, and make some space and paste it like this one. Okay. After this, let me just move this one over here, so that we need to design this exactly same as shown in the quick overview. So let me do that. Move this all on the little bit of the right side and make some space between these all. So like this one, little bit. Like this, like this, like this one, and like this one. After this, what we have to do is, we have to add a picture box into this one. So I'm going to search, go to this toolbox, and here search for picture box. Drag and drop it over here. And just give it a size. So right click on this, go to properties, and here I'm going to give it a size of 341, 333 and hit enter. And this is the size which I'm going to give it, and just move this button over here like this. Okay, after this, we need to change the button name for this one. Let me just unpin this one and pin this over here. So click on this and move back over here. So change this one to BT and save. This reset is perfectly fine. Click on this and change the text over here to save. And we also need to change the icon. So click on this one, click on import and move back over here. The save is, let me search for it. So this is save, check mark, and click on OK. And here you can see this. Now the icon is set for this one. After this, change this label from city to unique ID. After this, I'm going to change this one state to visitors ID. And I'm going to change this text name from txt state to txt visitor. Txt visitor. VISITOR, like this one, and change this one to txt unique ID. And hit enter. After this, we need to change this one to read only, so that that visitor ID will be automatically generated, but we cannot modify this. So for that, I'm going to make this one read only. So search for this read only and change this one to true. We can also do that programmatically, but we are not going to see this in this video. Okay. So move back over, and we also need to change this one from update employee to add visitor, because this is a visitor form. So add visitor and hit enter. Now the label is also changed. Next thing, what we have to do is we have to connect this with the dashboard. So go to Solution Explorer, just move to the dashboard and move back over here. And if I click on this, we can see the ID for this one is add visitor tool strip menu item. So just double click on this and this will generate a click event for this one. So if that add visitor form is already open, we are going to check for that. So for that, application dot open forms dot of type, and here we will pass the type. So my type is add visitors, and we will check the count for the same. So count is equal to 1. It means that this one is open. So if this one is open, then in that case I want to bring that form to the front. So application dot open forms dot of type, and inside this one we will pass add visitors dot first dot bring to front, and this will bring the form open form to the front. If this is not the case, it means that form is not open. Then in this situation, what we have to do is we have to simply create an object of it and simply call the method that is show. So new add visitor dot show. Just simple like that. So now let's start the application and let's see if that one is visible or not. So I've started my application, admin and pass, and just log in. And if I move back over, click on this, here you can see this add visitor is visible, but this picture box is not visible. The border for that one is not visible. So let's change some of the properties so that we can see that one. So move back over here to the add visitor, and if I click on this and search for border style, just change this one to fixed 3D, and now save it, and now start the application, and now we will test that. So admin and pass, login. If I move back over here, click on this and click on this, and here you can see this. Now we can see this picture box over here. Everything is in place. Next thing what we have to do is we have to start the coding, the backend coding for the same. If I click on this, male, female and other are visible, because we have copied these text field from the previous form. So all the properties corresponding to a text field is also copied. So we don't need to worry about that. If you haven't seen my previous video, then it may seem some magical, but it's not. Just watch my previous videos. So let me just close the application and let's start coding for this one. Okay, so move back to the coding stuff, And whenever this form loads, I want to generate a unique ID and show it over here. For that, we have to generate a load event. So just double click on the empty space, and as visitor, load event is generated. Before we write some code into this add visitor load event, I have to create some objects. So one is database operation. Database operation is equal to new database operation. So this is my custom class. In earlier videos, I have already created these class. So make sure to watch the earlier videos. Okay. And another thing, I'm going to need one string variable of type. I'm going to need a string variable. Okay. So I have named this one query. After this, I need another variable that is data set ts. And now we are ready with all of these variables. Next thing what we have to do is we have to go to this load and we need some more variables. So that is string visitor ID, and I need a boolean image uploaded is equal to false. After this, I need string path where I have to put the image. So first thing, what we have to do is we have to get the unique ID. So visitor ID is equal to utility dot get unique ID. Inside this one, I will pass VID like this. This is the prefix. If you want to change this one, you can change as per your choice. So if I move back over here, you can see this. This is a dynamically generating a unique ID. Okay, on the basis of timestamp. So it will be always be unique. So we're using this. So let me just close this. In the previous video, I have created this method. If you haven't watched that, then you can directly create it by just pausing the video. Okay, so let me close this one and move back over here. So now we have created the unique ID. After this, we have to show this unique ID into that text field. So txt unique, not this unique ID, txt visitor ID, visitor is equal to visitor ID, something like this. Visitor dot text is equal to visitor ID, like this one. After this, we need to extract the path. So path is equal to application dot startup path dot substring 0, comma, inside this one you have to pass application dot startup path dot length minus 10. In previous video, I have already explained you that why I am passing application or the startup dot length minus 10. So please make sure to watch the video in series. So after this, I have created one folder that is for images, and just like this, plus, and we will set this visitor ID plus the image type will be JPG, and like this, like this one. In this folder, we are going to process the image with this name, that is whatever the visitor ID and whatever the this is the JPG type. Okay, so I have just created the path. We haven't did anything right now. Next thing what I have to do is whenever I click on this picture box, if I move back over picture box, a pop-up needs to be open, and there I can select the images from my system. So let me close other tabs. Okay, after this, save it. Just click on this one, and this click event. Just double click on this, and this will generate a picture box one click event. If you want to change the name for this one, you can change it. Okay. Next thing, what we have to do is we have to type open file dialog, and open is equal to new open file dialog. After this, I want to open this file. So we want to set the initial directory for this one. So open dot initial directory, and I'm going to set C inside this one because C is available in every system if you make partition or not. Okay. After this, open dot filter, and I want to filter some specific files, right? I don't want to see all the files because we need to persist only the JPEG file. So we can search for that specific images or a specific type, format type objects. So for that, how to do that? So like this, star dot jpg star dot jpeg star dot bmp. After this, we also need to filter some others like star.jpg or star.jpeg star.bmp, like this. After this, what we have to do is we have to simply set the filter index. So open dot filter index to 1. And now we are going to check if the dialog is open or not. So if open dialog, open dot show dialog, and if user clicks on OK, so we are going to check that. So system dot windows dot forms dot dialog result dot is OK. In that situation, we want to persist that image into the database. Okay. Inside this, again, we need to check if open dot check file exists. If this is the case, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to check that if not file dot not this one, this is file. So if I hover over this, click on this one, use system IO file dot exists and the path which we have already created. If this is the case, then we need to delete that image and again we need to change the image, right? So this is the path which we have already created, that images with the visitor ID name. Okay. After this, if this path doesn't exist, in this case, what I have to do is system.io.file.copy open.file name comma path we need to pass. So that file which we have selected will be copied from this open file dialog and pasted to this path, that is the images folder with the name the visitor id.jpg. If this is not the case, it means that picture or the image is already uploaded. So first thing what I am going to do is I'm going to just remove this. So picture box 1 dot image dot dispose. It means that I'm going to remove the image from the picture box. So, and after this, I'm going to set the picture box 1 dot image is equal to null. And finally, system dot io dot file dot delete, and we need to pass the path. And system dot io dot file dot copy, and we will copy this open dot file name to path. So what this means that suppose if image already exists and we again try to upload another image with the same image ID, in that case it will delete the it will enter into this case and it will first remove the image from the picture box, then delete the image from a specific path, then again copy the new selected image to that specific path with that same name. After the copying, we need to set the image to the picture box. So picture box dot image is equal to image dot from file, and we will pass the path. So now we have saved the image to this specific path. So now we can fetch and show that image into the picture box. And we also need to set the picture box size mode to picture box size mode dot stretch image. Okay. And after this, we will set this image uploaded to true. Image uploaded is a variable which we have created. So if I move back over here, you can see this one is true. Now save this, and now let's start our application, and let's see if this one is working or not. So admin and pass. Now login. If I move back over here, click on this. So now click on this one and go to this downloads, and I'm going to select one image. So click on this and click on open, and here you can see this. Now this image is visible over here. So now if I close this, okay, so we haven't coded for this one. So now the image is being fetched and saved, and the image is also being visible over here. So next thing we have to code for these all. So let's close this and close this. And now we will test that if that image is copied and pasted into this image folder or not. So right click on this, open file in File Explorer, and here you can see this. Now we have pasted this image. Here you can see this. This is the ID which is generated. And I guess we forgot to see that visitor unique ID, right? So I'm going to open that once again. So if I click on this one, add visitor, and you can see this is unique generated ID. So it's 77000. So if I go over here and go to downloads, and you can observe that by default C is being opened. So just go to downloads, and I'm going to select another image, click on open, and here you can see this. With this name, we need to find the image. So let me just copy this, close this one, move back over here, right click on this, open folder, and here you can see this. So now you can see this, we have the images over here with the same ID, that is 77000. So let me close this and move back over here. Next thing what we have to do is, whenever we click on save button, we need to save this path and all of these stuff into the database, right? So just click on save this button, just move back over here, BT and save, just double click on this to generate a BT and save click event. So here I'm going to put all the code in try and catch block. So here we will handle the exception, so EX, and if anything goes wrong, in that case I'm going to write the exception in the console. So console.writeLine, and inside this one we will simply type exception and add visitor, save click, and I'm going to write the exception simply like this. And after this I will show a pop-up message for the user. So message.show and something went wrong, like this one, plus an exception I want to show, and I'm going to put a name for this message box, so that will be error, and I'm going to put one button inside this one, so message box button dot OK, and message box icon I need to set, so I'm going to set this one error. Now for the exception we are done. Next thing what we have to do is we have to extract the values from all the text fields and get into a variable. So for that, string name is equal to txt name dot text. After this I need to extract the contact. We need to fetch the contact. So contact is equal to txt contact dot text. Okay, so we missed one small stuff, that we haven't restricted the user. That user can only enter the integers, that is number, only inside this one. So click on this, go to event and go to key pressed and double click on this, and this will generate a txt contact key pressed. So here we have to simply call utility dot only number. Inside this one we will pass this one, that is key pressed event args. So this will handle the stuff that we can only enter the string into this one, sorry, the integer into this one. So now we move back over here and we are going to fetch the other items like string. We are going to fetch the gender is equal to txt gender dot text. Of this string address is equal to txt address dot text. After this we need to extract the string unique ID is equal to txt unique ID dot text, and we already have the visitor ID. So if I move back over here, whenever our applications get started, we already generate this visitor ID, right? Here you can see this, we are already generating. So once that form is open, that visitor ID is already over there. After this, I'm going to check that if image is uploaded or not. So for that, image upload is a Boolean variable. So we will check that. If this is not the case, then in this situation, I'm going to show the user that image is not uploaded. So message box dot show picture not selected, and this is a warning. And for this one, I'm going to set one button, that is message box button dot OK, and I'm going to set one image message box icon dot warning like this. Okay. After this, we'll move back over here, and if this image is uploaded, then first thing we have to convert the contact into the int form. For that, int64 contact num is equal to int64 dot parse, and we are going to pass that contact, the string value, right? After this, we need to write the query to insert the data into the database. So we have already created the table for the same. So let me open the table SQL, and let me just open it. So it's opening in a while. So till then, we are going to write the query. So insert into, my table name is visitors. So visitors, and inside over here, we are going to type the column name, that is v name, that is visitor name, contact. We are going to type gender. We are going to type the v address, that is a visitor address, and unique ID and visitor ID. If you have made any changes in the column name, then you need to put that column name there. So let me just connect it, and let me just open my table. And if I move back over here, you can see this in the visitor, we have v name, we have contact, we have gender, we have v address, unique ID, visitor ID. So I'm going to use all of these same column name. So if I select this one, star, okay. So we need to select the DB. So get pass and execute this. And here you can see this. This is the ID, right? So let me minimize it and let's start coding over here. So I have put the column name, that is v name, contact, gender, v address, unique ID, and visitor ID. After this, we have to type values, and over here, first thing we have to pass that name. So single quotes, double quotes, plus plus, double quotes, and single quotes. Inside this one, we have to pass the name first. After this, we have contact, so that is an integer number, so directly double quotes, plus plus, and double quotes, and we have to pass the contact over here. After this, we have gender, so that's a string, so single quotes, double quotes, plus plus, double and single. Inside this one, we need to pass the gender. Let me move a little bit right and zoom in. After this, we have address, so single, double, plus plus, double, single. And inside this one, we have to pass address, comma, single, double, plus plus, double, single. And inside this one, we have to pass unique ID. And after this, we have visitor ID. So single, double, plus plus, double, single. And we have to pass the visitor ID over here. Okay. Now our query is ready. Next thing, we have to simply call this, pass this query into database operation dot set data, and we will pass the query. Okay. After this, okay, set data, and we have passed one message, right? So I'm going to pass one message over here. That's why it's showing the error. So visitor added, like this one. So now if I move back over here and let me just zoom out a little bit, and let's start the application and let's test it. Admin, pass, login, and move back over here, click on add visitor. If I click on this one, here you can see this. Now we move back over here. If I select this image, click on open, and if I try to save it, okay, something pays. The string was not in correct format. Okay, let me close this. Okay, close will not work. So move back over here in the save. If this one is saved, it means that image is uploaded. Okay. Okay, so we missed the string validation, right? So we also need to validate if these string are null or not. So for that, what we have to do is if the string is null or empty, inside this one we need to pass the name. This happens, the error which popped up is due to this one. We are trying to parse null into the integer format. Okay, so this is not null, and in the second case, not the string is null or empty, and we need to pass the contact. After this one, not the string dot is null or empty, inside this one we need to pass the gender. And after this, not string dot is null or empty, and we need to pass the address. And after this, not string dot is null or empty, and we need to pass the unique ID. And now this is done. So if I put the bracket like this and put this one inside the if block, in the else block I want to show a message. So message box dot show, and inside this one we will pass fill mandatory fields and try again. And this is also a warning. And after this, I'm going to put one button into this message box. So message box dot OK, and I'm going to put one icon. So message box icon dot warning. So it's like this. Now it's done. Let's start the application, and now let's test it. So I'm going to put the username and password. Move back over here, click on this and add a visitor. And if I try to save it now, here you can see this picture not selected. So click on OK, and I'm going to select one picture. So I'm going to select this one. And if I try to save again, here you can see this fill mandatory fields and try again. So here you can see this, I can't able to type a string over here. So I'm going to type one name. So VIS1, contact is 12345. I'm going to select one gender, that is male, and address India, unique ID something like this 1234 000 something like this. And if I try to save now, here you can see this visitor added. And whenever this visitor is added, I want to clear all of these stuff, right? So by default, by mistake, I clicked on this dashboard, so it went to the backend. So if I click on this, it will be in the front. It will be bring to front, right? So if I here you can see this, whenever I want to save it, after save operation, I want to clear all of these stuff. So how to do that? I'm going to code for this reset, and that same will be applied whenever we save it. So let me close this application and move back over here. And I'm going to write one method over here, that is private void clear all fields. Simple like that. And here first we will clear the txt name dot clear, txt unique id dot clear. After this, txt gender dot clear. Okay, this is a combo box, right? So selected index is equal to -1, and txt contact dot clear like this, and txt address dot clear. Okay, after this we need to do one more stuff. If you observe that whenever we open and we have selected the images, so for those also the images is present over here, but we haven't persisted the data for the same. So what I want is whenever we reset or close the application without persisting the data, I want to remove that image from my images also. For that, what we have to do is first we will check that image uploaded. We will convert this one image uploaded to false. This is the reset case. And if picture box dot images is not equal to null, it means that the image is over there, then I'm going to remove it from the picture box. So picture box dot image dot dispose like this one, and picture box dot image is equal to null. And what I want to do is, because I'm resetting it, it means that I need to regenerate the unique ID, and the unique ID generation code is written in the add visitor load event. So if I move back over here, you can see this add visitor load event, the unique code is written to generate a new visitor ID. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this once again whenever we try to clear all fields. So call this one, and say this one we will pass this comma null. And finally, I'm going to call this one over here. Just double click on this and this will generate a reset click event. So if I click on this one and if I do like this. After this, what I want to do is whenever we process the data successfully, I also want to clear all the fields like this one. So I have to call the same method over here. Next thing what I have to do is, whenever I close my application, suppose I opened it and I haven't done anything into this one, but I selected the image. In that case, if I click on close, then I also want to delete this image. So how to do that? For that, just move back over here and just double click on this. And here you can see this. First thing I'm going to check that if image uploaded, in that case, what I want to do is I want to delete that image. And in the else case, I need to simply close this form. What it means that this image uploaded is true means that we have selected the image but we haven't persisted it. Suppose I have selected the image and if I click on this save, so the code is written in such a way that this value will be turned to false. So whenever, let me just show you how. So suppose we have selected the image. So if I go over here, so once your image is selected, you are just converting or changing the value for this one to true. After the successful submission, whenever we click on this button, we are calling this method that is called clear all fields. Inside this one, we are setting the value for that one to false. So if that one is saved properly, it means that this one will be false. Then that form will directly be closed. If this is not the situation, then I am going to ask the user, so message box dot show image will be removed, and you can change message as per your choice. And I'm going to show this one, message box name will be warning, and I'm going to put one button, so message box button dot OK or cancel. After this, I'm going to put one icon for this one, so that will be warning, and I'm going to check that if user clicked on OK or cancel. So if dialog result dot OK, then we want to perform the operation like deletion operation, the deletion of the image. Okay, so first I'm going to remove that from the picture box. So picture box image dot dispose like this one, and after that picture box dot image is equal to null. After this, I'm going to remove it from the system.io files, io.file.delete, and we will pass the path over here. And finally, we will close this form. Okay, now let's test this. So if I start my application and we're going to type admin and pass and log in over here, click on this one, click on this one, and let me quickly clear my database, this table. Okay, this add visitor table. Okay, so let me move back over here and let's start my application. And what we are going to do is, let me just go to admin and pass, and let me open that folder too. So if I go over here, let me just stop this and let me just open this folder. Open folder in File Explorer and minimize it. Start this one, admin and pass. Now log in. If I click on this, add visitor, click on this one and select one image. This one I'm going to select, and you can see this with the visitor ID 900 at the last. If I open this, where it goes. Yeah, this one 900 at last. We have this image, right? So let me just move back over here. We just open this. Okay, not like this one. This is really looking weird. So move back over here and move back over here. You can see this with the visitor ID, this 900. We have the image, right? 45359789 18 and 27900. Whenever we click on this close button, it will ask for image will be removed. If I click on OK, and here you can see this, now the image is gone. So now this one is working fine. Next thing, if I move back over here, add a visitor, and we have also coded for reset to change this one, and we have to convert the value, that variable image uploaded, to false. So if I again click on this one, here you can see this, now the images is that ID is being changed. It means that add visitor load event is being called again and again whenever we click on this reset button. Okay, and if I click field the data inside these all, and if I try to change or reset it, here you can see this, now this one is working fine. Okay, so that's it for this video, guys. In the next video, we are going to see for this one, that is view visitors, design and coding for that. So just stay tuned, subscribe, and follow us on Instagram, and just follow us on Facebook. So thanks for watching. Just keep coding.